Welcome to the Back Nine Six Pack with Mitch and Justin. Let's roll.
Hello and welcome to episode 138 of the Back Nine Six Pack. Tonight it is all Masters all the time. Don't even really need a show rundown. That's all we're going to be talking about. My name is Mitch, joined as always by my esteemed colleague Justin. How's it feel living in a world with a back-to-back Rory McIlroy Masters Championship?
Undeserving is the word that comes to mind.
So you haven't calmed down at all since last night?
No. The guy crawled to the finish line. We can get in more to it, but I knew this was going to happen. There's already comparisons to Tiger Woods, and that's just blasphemous. It's irresponsible. We don't compare Nick Faldo to Tiger Woods. Right?
No.
He won back-to-back. We don't compare him to Tiger Woods. So I'm seeing some hot takes out there. I'm here to protect my guy that's in rehab that cannot protect himself. So,
that is patently absurd. I will fully get on board with that. Those people, I don't even know if those are real people that are saying that. Whoever you're seeing that from, they need to check themselves for sure. And that's coming from a pretty big Rory fan.
Let's just put it this way. He crawled to the finish line this weekend. I'm telling you right now, if there was a playoff, he gets waxed. Scotty wins that playoff. That
would have been such an electric playoff, by the way.
There's no doubt in my mind Scotty wins that playoff.
Yeah, it would have basically been like, can Rory hit it on the planet and can Scotty make a putt? That would have been what that playoff would have been.
Pretty much. But if you look at Rory's last 4 holes, how many good shots did he actually hit?
Well, he said it himself in his presser. It's interesting. I think he got through after he got up and down on 16 in his presser after he was like, all right, I have to hit 4 more good shots. And he's like, but I only hit 1.
Yeah. I mean, and really 16, he put himself in a terrible spot too. It was over the pin, but he still nuked it over the green. It's literally the one thing he couldn't do, and he did.
Well,
he got away with it because he pitched it close, but
the one thing he couldn't do was hit it in the water. I think that was probably
outside of that, but that was not going to happen, right? Not with that pin where you're aiming out to the right and trying to use the hill anyway. But can I say something? And this is probably a hot take.
Are we in the nest? Go ahead.
How many times have we heard from an announcer how hard that shot is back there? Every time I see someone hit that shot, they hit it to a foot.
Yeah.
No, 16... I think who chipped in? Wasn't it? Someone chipped in from back there 2 years ago. It was this is dead, and he chips in.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Obviously, the most famous instance is Tiger in 05, of course. Yeah.
Every time, you'll see someone that's near the lead, they go to that shot. And everybody hits it to inside 4 feet. I'm like, all right, look. If it's that hard, why do I keep seeing people hit it, inside a 5-foot circle from there?
Yeah, I don't want to get too far off track, but I do want to say something I realized about the Masters this year was there's just not a lot of pars out there. It is a birdie and bogey fest.
Yeah, essentially
is what it comes.
I don't know I don't know if I'm crazy about that, but.
Yeah, I mean, truly it's a theater, right? It's they can make it what they want it to be, and it's built just for second nine drama, right? That's how it's set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rory wins the 2026 Masters, becomes just the 4th player to defend his green jacket alongside Jack Nicklaus in 65-66, Faldo 89-90, and Tiger Woods in 2001-2002. Coming off the backs of winning the career Grand Slam here last year, I mean. Yeah, Tiger comparison is obviously absurd, but definitely leveled up beyond where he was last year when we had this conversation in terms of career and legacy stuff.
Yeah, I'm just glad we don't have to walk around eggshells from around him for the next 2 months. The locker room will be a lot more relaxed knowing that Rory's happy for at least the next 2 months.
Oh my God. Justin E. Pierce, 2026 Player Hater of the Year.
I'll admit it. I told you, dude, it happened last year after he won the Masters. 2 months, he's happy. Everybody's happy for him. And then he just turns heel. And it's going to happen again. And everybody's going to be like, God, the people that were like on the fence about, I'm like, well, man, I can't believe I fell for it again.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't get those vibes as much as some other people do. I understand why people feel the way they do about Rory. We had this conversation last year. I went back and listened a little bit just to see what we talked about. And I mean, I do get some of it, but at the end of the day, like I said last year, like Rory is a massive net positive for the game, and especially when you look at like where he came from and all of that. Like he's not a country club kid. You know, he's got a good backstory.
That's why I think I should like him, but he reeks of a ladder puller.
See,
he lived that life, and it's incredible that his parents did what they did, got him to where he was with really not a lot of resources, right? That's incredible. But now that he's there, it feels like he's pulling the ladder up.
I think the thing with Rory is he's always, because of like the Tiger comparisons and all that stuff, like Tiger had a blueprint for what made him great, right? And a lot of the guys of Rory's era tried to like follow that blueprint, right? Like they got in the gym, they tried not to make friends, they tried to be like steely eyed in the competition, all that stuff. But that's like not really Rory's personality. And so I think he gets caught a lot between like where he's at in the game and how he should behave versus like more his nature. And I think that is where you get some of that like friction with him. That's my read on the situation.
That's probably a fair assessment.
Yeah. Anyway, on that note, last year we talked about the over-under on 7.5 majors for him when he won his 5th. Well, now he's got his 6th. We both resoundingly took an over on that. You so much as said like you thought it would be like a colossal failure if he did not go over 7.5.
Yeah, because he's super talented. The way I feel about him doesn't take away from how talented he is.
Exactly. And so it's like this one felt like truly kind of like it was at that point where, because people don't win back to back, and everybody was talking leading into it like, oh, it's definitely not going to be Rory. Like everyone's talking themselves into Bryson and Rahm, and Scotty was struggling a little bit. So there's like felt like it was wide open. I felt a little bit on an island of like, I think he can win this, and so much so that I bet him, and I'm glad I did. But like, it still kind of feels like it didn't happen in a way. Like it's like very weird that it happened.
Yeah, and I think it's just because of how he did it. Like he shot even par on the weekend.
Yeah,
I don't know that I don't know the facts behind this, but I bet you have to go a long way back to find someone that shot even par the last 2 rounds and won the Masters.
Oh yeah, I'd be interested to see that. There could be like a weird one where it's like the ZJ year where or Danny Willett when the years the scoring was down or whatever. But I would guarantee you're probably very right on the whole. Like, and he said that in his presser too. He's like, if you told me Friday I shot even par on the weekend, I would have told you I wasn't sitting here with a green jacket. So like he was very aware of that situation, and that does speak a little bit to what you said, where like guys kind of crowned him a little bit and let him get off the hook. But also, he did play. He had the best round on the course the day it played the hardest. He built that 6-shot lead, and it's glad for him that he did, because he needed every bit of those shots. So definitely a lot to go into that. Before we get too far in, first of all, thank you all for listening. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Back. Always appreciate that. There was an interesting moment in his press conference where, and I don't want to read this full quote, I put it in the agenda, but they asked him kind of like, last year he really soaked it in and kind of like, he admittedly kind of laid back and didn't grind as hard and all that stuff because he felt like this was his journey and that the career Grand Slam was like the destination. But his commentary was kind of like, they asked him, how are you going to handle it this year? He said, I think different, and I'm paraphrasing all this. He said, I said at the start of the weekend here, I felt like the Grand Slam was the destination. I realized it wasn't. He's like, I'm on this journey too. I don't know. I just won my 6th major. I feel like I'm in a really good spot with my game and my body. I don't want to put a number on it, but I feel like this win is just, I don't want to say a stop on the journey, but yeah, it's part of the journey. I still have things I want to achieve, but I still want to enjoy it as well. I've waited so long to win the Masters. All of a sudden I win 2 in a row. So I still want to enjoy it. I've got a couple weeks off before I go back to playing competitive golf, but I don't think I'll go through that lull of motivation or the sort of things I was feeling last year post winning this tournament. And then he gets a follow-up question about like not putting numbers or goals on it and being possibly the best European of all time. He said, again, it took me 10 years to win my 5th major, then my 6th one comes pretty soon after. I'm not putting a number on it, but certainly I don't want to stop here. And I think that's really interesting to hear from Rory, because I don't think he ever had that vibe to me of like, it really truly felt like the career Grand Slam was it. And he wasn't thinking about like getting to 8, getting to 10, like all of that stuff. And he's only 36. Like Justin Rose out there at 45 competing. Like, I don't know, man. This feels like we could be in a really fun spot when you've got, his little rivalry with Brooks, the 6-5 major. Scotty has won, what, 4 in the last 2 years or whatever. Like we've got like a little bit of a late career Rory that could be like the benchmark. And then you've got some really strong chasers that are, coming after him as well.
Yeah, just so you know, I did look this up while you were talking. It looks like it's happened 4 other times.
Wow.
Jack Nicklaus in 1966, Sam Steed in 1954, Jackie Burke in 56, and then this one's the best. This is going to make you laugh. And this is the category I put this win in. Zach Johnson in 2007.
I told you. See, that one didn't surprise me because the scoring was low. Interesting you said 66. That was Jack's back-to-back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a little bit of symmetry there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited as a golf fan. I'm excited as a Rory fan. I know other people are less so, but I'm glad to be here.
Here's what I find like a little lame about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't play the 2 weeks leading up into the Masters, right? He played the Masters. Now he's not going to play for 3 more weeks. Like, what are we doing?
Did he say that?
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I think you just said in your quote, he said he's not going to play for the next 3 weeks.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, he...
So he's going to play 1 time in 6 weeks.
So he...
It's a little lame.
That's, when... Okay.
Especially given the fact that... Like, well, one, I know a lot of guys that win don't play like the signature event the next week, right? I get that. Now, if he didn't win, it'd be a little weird that he didn't play next week.
Right.
But like, again, it kind of goes back to like, you're one of the stars. In order for these tournaments to last into the future, these big names just have to play. They have to play more than that.
Yeah, I would counterpoint that with a couple things. One, I don't think anybody ever criticized Tiger for making his schedule the way it was, right? Like, he always played a very light schedule. He played the same events. He was very focused on the majors. And then 2, Rory pretty much like built this system that now exists. So like, if he doesn't want to play the signature events, what's, the guarantee money doesn't matter that much to him. I take it more of like, he's prioritizing the right tournaments is how I'm looking at it.
Well, and what I would tell you as a Tiger defender, I think it was lame when he did it too.
Okay.
Like, you're the face of the tour, or Tiger was the face of the tour.
Sure.
Rory's probably one of 2 or 3 guys that's the face of the tour, right?
Yeah.
In a time that, let's just put it this way, like, we see turnover in these events, right? We see sponsorship turnover in these events. That's where the money comes. Like, that's where these guys get paid from. Like, they don't get paid because we buy $60 tickets to go watch these tournaments. They get paid from the people paying for the commercials, paying for the advertisements. And let's just say this year's maybe is a one-off. Maybe next year he plays more, right? Maybe it's just his back situation that he had, or, the injuries that he had pop up. But let's just say he does it again next year. Like, eventually these, Chevron, who runs one of the Texas tournaments, they're going to be like, dude, F this. Like, if you want to, and here's the thing, if like he sits out and then a couple other guys sit out, it's like, why are we paying X amount of $1 million a year to sponsor this tournament? And the best player we have in the field is the 25th ranked player in the world. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that's what you start to run into, but then it's going to run into like 5 years from now, they're going to be like, why are our pots staying the same? Why, this and that. And it's going to be like, well, because when you don't play in tournaments, there's no incentive for these people to sponsor these tournaments.
I get that. I do also think that Rory probably knows a little more than most do in terms of what the PGA Tour is going to look like, and with all the changes coming under roll app and stuff. So maybe he's taking this year as like I'm going to do whatever I want because I'm about to have to show up a lot, So
maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
There's part of it with that too, I'm sure. But I'm glad that you're holding. You're not making an exemption for Rory here, and you're holding Tiger to that same standard.
No, I always thought it was lame. It's like, we got lucky enough in Ohio where he would come to the Memorial because it's Jack's tournament, right? Like, but it would suck if I was living in like Boston, Massachusetts, and he didn't show up to the Travelers. Like every year, he never played in the Travelers, right? And some of these places, specifically in the Midwest, where we get one tournament within driving distance, and that's it. Like, so if a guy doesn't show up, when are we going to see him? We're never going to see him, right? So True. I think that's specifically more for that, right? Like these tournaments now from like May to July that are in these areas that don't get, we don't get a Florida swing where there's like 4 tournaments in a 3-hour area, right?
True.
So I'm thinking of it more from that perspective, but I always thought it was lame when Tiger did it too. It's like, I mean, he played less than Rory did,
Mm-hmm.
I bet you could probably pull it up. I bet there was one year he probably played like 14 events and 4 of them were majors.
Yeah. I'd say that was more the norm probably than it was, the exception for him.
Yeah.
No, I'm interested to see again with the changes coming up, and then also like, Rory, he's always kind of bounced over to Europe here and there, and then like this past winter he played the Australian Open, which I think is really cool. So yeah, it would be curious to see kind of just how the big guys approach their schedule in the next couple of years. You want to move on to the birdies and bogeys of it all here?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm sure everybody listening definitely watched this. Of course, it was Masters weekend. But yeah, Rory comes out hot. Obviously, tied for the first round lead with Sam Burns. The second round was an electric round. He ends up building that 6-shot lead. I think he birdied like 4 of the last 6 holes or something. Yep. He had a crazy run to finish. That chip in on 17.
4 of the last 6, and I think he birdied the last 3 holes, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he had the chip in on 17, a birdie on 18 that kind of felt like it ended the tournament at the time because it was like that's just a putt he never makes on 18, and then all of a sudden he makes it, and you're like, oh shit, like here we go. And that was all without the driver, right? Like he was really struggling with the driver the first 2 rounds. Got that figured out, but then lost his irons on the 3rd and 4th round, so that was tough. But it all comes down to round 3. He's got the 6-shot lead, which quickly evaporates, and then he ends up
like the first 4 holes on Saturday. It was pretty much gone.
It was gone. I mean, Reed got it to within 2 at one point early in that round, and then kind of rights the ship a little bit. But then he makes the double on 11, hits it in the water there, and then bogey's 12, and we're like, okay. Tournament on now, right? He shoots 1 over in the 3rd round. He's got the tie of the lead heading into the 4th round with Cam Young. A lot of heavy hitters chasing. You got guys like Scotty making a move at that point. Some bogey-free rounds out of guys, like a lot of 66 going on out there while he's shooting 73. Then we get to Sunday, and it's a tough start. We actually, the start wasn't bad. He was 3 under through 3, and we're like, okay, this is better than last year. We doubled the first hole, all that. But then the double happens on 4, including a very short missed putt. Follows it up with bogey on 5 or bogey on 6 from the back of the green.
Didn't you say he doubled 4, right?
Yeah.
And
then the bogey on 6 when he goes long and doesn't get that putt up to the green, which would have been an impossible chip. So I get why he putted it, but like didn't get it there. And we're like, oh crap. But Cam Young bails him out, misses another shorty himself there. And then it's like Rory locked in at that point. Hits a drive on 7, monster drive, tee shot he struggles with, hits a birdie putt on 7, makes a birdie on 8 after a couple good shots. And from then on, it was still like really close. You had a lot of guys jockeying.
I let's go back to 6 for a second. I think when I go back and like kind of look at it and like try to remember how things happened in my head, it feels like if Cam Young makes that putt, things might be different.
100%.
It feels like Cam Young, because after that point, Cam Young never felt like he got it back together, right? Like that bogey took him off his tracks of kind of some steady golf and just never, ever got it back. Yeah. It feels like if Cam Young makes that putt, maybe puts a little more pressure on Rory. it feels like things might have gone a little, like maybe could have gone a little differently. It just like after that putt, Cam Young just never, Rory kind of was like, all right. It almost felt like Rory was like, that's the break I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And Cam Young was like, oh God, this is the one thing that kind of just took him off, where he kind of left off on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree. Especially because I think at that point, he's down to, I think Rose grabbed the lead at that point. And he's two back.
Rose would have been on like 8, and he had that shot on 7.
Yep.
That he hit it to like 11 inches, and then he birdies 8. So I think Rose did have the lead by 1 at that point. Maybe even he might even had it by 2. Honestly,
I think it was by 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Rory, and he mentioned this in his presser as well. Like he's like the birdies on 7 and 8 meant a lot for the tournament. He was like, if I don't make those, then all of a sudden I've got to really like press, and that's when you can get in trouble on the second 9 there. So he birdied 7 and 8. Cam hit a sick chip on 8, by the way. It was one of those where like, at first I thought he boned it.
I think everybody, and then if anybody didn't, like the slight second, the smallest second after he hit it, didn't think that he sculled it, you're a liar. Because even like, and then like a couple seconds went on, I'm like, oh, no. He meant that, as you saw rolling back, I'm like, all right, he meant to do that. But like for the first second, I was like, oh my God, what the hell was that? Like, kind of took you back a little bit. Might have been some of the camera angle too, for what it's worth.
Definitely. It was. I'm glad they had that camera angle. That was a sick shot angle to see from that angle. Yeah. And so Rory makes those 2 birdies. He hits it close on 9, misses the putt. But again, steadied himself. Got lots of guys. Rose starts to make a mess on 11 and 12. Fast forward to the tee shot on 12, and Rory hits the shot of the tournament there. Well, last year was the shot on 15 he hit. That one on 12 was like, all right, we're back, baby.
Well, what's the funniest thing about that shot is if you saw where he was lined up at, he was lined up like 2 feet inside the left edge of the left bunker behind the green. And I think he was trying to cut it. And, if he cuts it off that line, he's probably middle of the green, 25 feet. I think he pushed it a little. Yeah. Which, again, if you follow Decade Golf or kind of there's a couple different course managements, like that's why you aim on that line, right?
Yep.
If he aims 10 feet right of that and pushes how he did, he's probably in the water.
Right.
So he took the correct line. He probably pushed it a little bit, margin of error, and ends up to like, 8 feet or something like that?
Yep.
Closest shot of the day.
Yeah, I think there might have been, I think I might have heard this wrong, but I feel like there's only like 2 or 3 birdies on that hole all day. Like it was an exception for the day, really picking up a shot on the field. And then best drive he hit all week on 13. Absolutely smoked that thing. Has an 8-iron in, which, he talked about this too in his presser about, last year he played as a 3-shotter. He planned for the layup and then flubs the wedge into the water. He was like hitting that drive, having an 8-iron in, like, freed me up so much. It was such a good, like, he was like, this year I'm playing aggressively. So he does it, hits it over the green, takes putter again from back there and hits it to about 8 feet or so and makes that one. And at that point, I think he's got a 3-shot lead.
Yeah.
So yeah, kind of scuffled a little bit on 14 and 15. Well, 14 he had to look at it, but he didn't hit very good wedges on 14 and 17 like all week. So yeah, makes a par there. 15 has to lay up, gets lucky, which he kind of admitted to, of like, he described it as a downhill lie with the wind and it knocked it out of the air a bit. Watching, it kind of felt like he clunked it, to be honest.
When I heard him say that, and I'm like, how many times I've known I clunked something and said that exact, wind knocked it out.
Yeah.
No one ever wants to admit that they might have mishit it a little bit,
Right.
It definitely didn't sound like it was crisply hit.
No. And then meanwhile, you've got Scotty Scheffler finally starts making putts. I think he birdied like 4 in a row there. He's got another bogey-free round going. Scotty's putt on 17, like I thought that was in the whole way, somehow did not drop. And that turned out to be the difference in the end because, skipping past the great up and downs on 16 and 17 by Rory, the tee shot on 18, very fortunate. Very fortunate.
Could have been so bad.
Oh, if he's up against a tree.
If he ends up like in the center of the tree line, that's jail. Like,
There's
he's
like
not getting in the front bunker. I can tell you that.
no, it's like a
he's probably going to have
sideways
60 or
punch
70
out.
yards. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would have been tough. I mean, you could get up against a tree over there. There's all kinds of bad that could happen. So, yeah, in typical Rory fashion, can't make it easy. He talked about, glad his lead was 2 and not 1. That makes that a lot easier there. But yeah, when you compare his up and down, or not up and down because he missed the par putt, but gave it a good run. Compare that to how Bryson played out of that bunker on the second round. Pretty big difference in how those things turned out.
Because he did what Bryson should have done. Just hack it out, hit it to 15 feet, and if you make par, you make par. If you don't, chalk it up, right? And he knew all he needed was something on the green, and he did exactly. I actually thought he would aim a little further left, to like maybe just try to guarantee that he hits it far enough up on, kind of gives him a little more leeway, hits it up on that, the hill, and maybe it rolls back to 20 feet or something like that. But still, all together, a pretty good shot, knowing what was at, kind of on the line at that point.
Yeah. Got to be really comfy to know when you put your coin down, you've got like a 6-inch putt to make sure you win the Masters. That's one where it's like you just gas it by to like 3 or 4 feet, and it's like, oh man,
it becomes a lot different.
Yeah. So that was kind of how it all went down for Rory. If we want to, let's get into the top 10 and notables just so we can talk through some of these guys, because the leaderboard was electric. I think the result ended up kind of being like a little. It just again, it felt weird, even though like I'm a Rory guy. Like, it was so bizarre to have him win this one after like how big last year was. This one just didn't have that same feeling, of course. But second place by himself, Scotty Scheffler, 11 under, bogey free on the weekend.
That's nasty. Just for the record, that is truly unbelievable.
Shot himself out of the tournament, unfortunately, in the second round with the 74. That was just kind of all over the place. But yeah, I think looking back on this one, he will be the one that's like, man, that was my tournament.
Yeah. Maybe him or one of the next people we talk about.
Yeah. So T3, you've got a hitter's row here. I mean, there's so many of these placings. You're going to be like, oh my God, all these guys. Hatton had an incredible weekend. For somebody that like famously was like shooting shotguns at the course and just bitches about it, he's had a couple good results here now. I don't want to forget about Hatton going into next year because it seems like he's figured something out here.
Yep.
T3 with him, Henley, who like absolute heater on the front and just could not make a putt at all on the back or the second round.
For the record, like, I love Russell Henley. I am not a Russell Henley hater. I think most of my anguish towards him, I just don't know where to bet him.
I know.
Like, when I think it's a good time to bet him, like he'll miscut. Like, I wanted him off our screens yesterday. 7 holes was plenty of him, and it was like, get this guy off. I want to see the other guys. Like, but he just kept making putts, and it was like in the front nine, he was kind of on a heater. It's like, kind of have to show him because he's like within a couple of the lead.
That's how I felt about.
Nonetheless, still a great tournament for him. I mean, that's
absolutely. It felt very Russell Henley, where it was like super steady, got the putter hot early, but then like when you like. If you bet on him and he's playing well, you just know the putts are not going down too. Yeah. That's the problem too. We'll skip past this next guy. We'll go to Cam Young first. Man, this one felt like after the front 940 on the first day is tough looking back, because I think he was the best player for the next 3 rounds.
Because here's the thing is like he just shoots 38, 2 over. He wins the tournament.
Yeah.
Like I always try to put things in perspective of like, okay, when the tournament's all over, like go back to be before the tournament. It's like, if I told him you just have to shoot 38 on your front 9 on Thursday and you'll win the Masters, I don't know who would. Hell, I would have put all the money in the world on him to do that, right? And I'm sure he would have said the same thing.
Yeah. After that
disappointing opening 9.
Yeah, 30 and then 37 yesterday on the front. Like you said, he missed that putt on 6 and the wind just went out the sails. Like he just kind of disappeared for like 7 holes, and then he tried to make it happen late and just couldn't quite get there. the guy you were
Chipped that
referring to,
wedge on 7, like that was bad.
into the bunker, very bad.
Yeah.
The guy you were referencing earlier, who you could say let this one get away, Justin Rose, another close call at the Masters.
At
Just
what
tough.
point? At what point do you just go? Maybe it's not going to happen. Like, guy's 45 years old.
I know. It's tough. Rosie, I clear rooting interest there. Another guy I had money on, so would have been happy to see that too. But yeah, it just 11 and 12 happened to him, and the shot on 11 I think stands out the most, where he was just too indecisive there. And then that green, a lot of guys talked about that green. They redid it this past year, and every time they do that, Rory talked about the green being like completely different, but like it takes the steam out of them. So like a lot of guys coming up short on chips and putts there. If you're going to bail out right, like if you got the water to worry about, it's hard to hit that hard enough, because if it plays like it normally does, you're going to lose it over the other side. So that was unfortunate. And then, had the early chip in, had the tremendous shot on 7 out of the trees. Like he was very involved, very involved.
And the whole time. I mean, kind of looked like when he made the turn, it was like the way Rory was kind of playing. It was like, this might be his tournament to lose.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, and even after that, Rory didn't do anything. Like, he had a couple birdies to kind of get back to even since Friday, but it kind of was like, this is his tournament to lose. That's how I felt when he made the turn. I'm like, yeah, and then the wayward shot on 11, iffy chip shot, maybe the safe play, but just kind of felt like 11. He never really got it back after that.
Yeah, and I failed to mention Rory made a really good par save on 11 too. After missing that green, I know the double notwithstanding on 11, but aim corner, it's crazy how much it does like decide these tournaments.
It does. Oh yeah.
And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that plays or did play aim corner as well as Rory did this year particularly.
Well, other than Saturday, other than Saturday, he played it perfectly.
He's like one of the few guys in the field that doesn't have any demons with 12, which is interesting. He takes Jack and Tiger's advice to heart with, just hit it over that center bunker. You're never going to have problems.
Yep.
So the other thing too that was cool in his presser, he talked about one of his first practice rounds back in 2009 was with Tom Watson. And that year, he was asking him for some advice around 12. And Tom's advice was like, just wait until the wind does what you were expecting it to do, and then immediately hit the ball. So he was talking in reference to like the winds when they got there were swirling a bit, and when they were making the club choice, he just kind of waited it out until like they felt the wind switch at the ground level to what they were planning for, and then that's when he went ahead and pulled the trigger and maybe possibly made the difference in that shot ending up where it did. That was a cool little nugget because that's 17 years ago at this point. Like that's crazy. Just the way that these guys, over the years, they build that bank of knowledge around the course. T7, the all I hate you group, Colin Morikawa and Sam Burns. I was glad that Burns ejected early. I just didn't want he putts it so good. I just had a fear for him,
like if he hung around and
I just didn't. And I thought of the guys on the leaderboard, to me, he felt like the most like meh potential winner. Like him or Russ Henley, probably. No offense to Russ, but that would have been tough. And then Morikawa, like, I just can't do it with this guy. It's like he goes to the Open, he's like, oh, my irons and the turf interaction, blah, blah, blah. Then he wins. He comes in here, he's like, man, I don't even know if I could tee it up. Then you're going to come out in T7. Like, just go away. You're good, man. I don't need it. T9, Max Homa, dude. What? This guy.
Top 10.
Yeah. Him and Xander here. Xander had such an up and down week. It felt like he was really in the mix, and then he just would go away, and then he'd show back up, kind of thing. But Max, with his world rankings and the way that he's struggled over the last year and a half or so, like back in the tournament next year, guaranteed now with the top 12 finish.
Yep.
So that's good for Max. This group of T12, whoa, what a bunch of dudes. Our king Jordan Spieth,
backdoor.
We'll get to Spieth in a second, but he's there along with Hideki. Brooks finishes here. Reed had a tough Sunday, winds up here. Patrick Cantlay just hung around all weekend. Doesn't make any sense, kind of came out of nowhere. And Jason Day, who was there around Saturday, I was kind of like, Jason Day's doing stuff. And then I think he shot 2 or 3 over.
Yeah, he played with Rosie on Sunday. He kind of took a backseat to that whole spectacle.
Yeah. But Spieth, man, had the comments after the round. He's like, I hit it better than I did when I won in 15. I'm like, Jesus, man. He can't. He's trying to. He's sold me completely that he's close. I can't quit it.
I'm starting to think he's got a thing with like he gets a cut of all the money that's bet on him that ultimately doesn't get paid out in winners.
Yeah, look, he was my pick before the tournament, and that was purely just like I'm trying to call my shot. Heart play. I should have stuck with my guns with Rory because I was close to that last week too, but just didn't get there. But Spieth, like, honest to God, watching him, it was the putter, dude. So many putts left short, like so incredible amount of short putts. And I don't know with the lengthening they've done in the course, the way that, it's been 11 years now since he's won there. Like it used to feel automatic that he would contend here. I don't know if it's that course anymore for him.
No. Yeah.
And I don't know what the putter issue is, but it's like it's never been the same since those days.
He's like one of the few guys hanging on to the blade putter, like
that and the cross-handed grip.
Not a lot of guys out there using blades anymore.
Yeah, I wonder if we ever see. I mean, I know he's dabbled a little bit, but he's never really gotten away from the blade or a true toe hang putter. So I don't know. Probably too much on Spieth, but I got to give him his flowers always. Some other notables here. T18 for Fitz, who was kind of never around, it didn't seem like, but had good form coming in. He's a popular pick. T21 Ludwig -3. He came out blazing on Friday or on Thursday, and then just never got it back after a bogey train on that first round. Shane Lowry dropped an 80 yesterday.
Yeah,
he was like in one of the last 4 groups or whatever, and finishes T30. Also added. By the way,
I think that hole in one on Saturday got him to like -8.
I think he was 9 under.
Or 9 under. Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, he did get the 9, I think, at one point on Saturday.
Yeah. So that was wild. But yeah, did add another, like you just said, hole in one to the resume. He's got like all the good ones. He's got 17 at Sawgrass, 7 at Pebble, 16 at Augusta, 6 at Augusta. Just off the top of my head.
Just a full card of hole in ones, like the ones that everybody wants.
Exactly.
I mean, he's a hole in one on 12 at Augusta from just being like the absolute king.
Truly. The best hole in one resume going. T33 for Fleetwood, which probably deserved with the pants yesterday.
Buddy, it was all week. His clothes didn't fit him. I mean, he was wearing like trash bags out there. It was not a good look.
Yeah, tough day yesterday, though. I mean, I think he was playing with Hatton and just got bodied from the start.
Yep.
And then T38 for Rahm, who obviously came out, shot 76 in the first round, and as the second favorite in the field. My one and done pick just sold my soul. That was stupid. I don't know. It's weird from Rahm. He had the good finish at the PGA last year, but like since the move to Live has really kind of been a non-factor in majors. So
he got a little better last year, and it kind of gave you some hope this year, but not a great start.
No, definitely not. Which is a good segue into some of the famous missed cuts here. Honestly, a lot of the dudes made the cut. There weren't that many, but Minwoo Lee came in with some good form. He was a popular guy. He's Augusta's activating, doing the chef. He's in the kitchen. We'll get to more of that stuff later. Akshay had a horrendous finish to his second round, wound up blowing the cut. But most famously, we got to talk Bryson. Did you pick him to win last week? Is that what I was remembering?
And I had him in my one and done as well.
Yeah. So obviously, the triple's the last hole on Friday to miss the cut from that bunker. The Hitler in the bunker, the 2 shots from the same bunker. That was preceded by the 3 shots from the same bunker on 11 on Thursday. I don't know, man. Maybe don't 3D print your 7-iron length clubs and use those wedges anymore.
Probably a good place to start.
Yeah. I don't know. From the par 3 contest, another thing we'll get to all the way through, like, I don't know, I let you bait me into taking him in the auction draft because I didn't want to give him to you for $15, but like looking back, I was like, I didn't want anything to do with Bryson this week, and it feels good to be right about that. I'm sad that I got suckered into that, though, in our auction. I don't know.
Yeah, I just one last thing on him. It didn't feel like good vibe. Like once we got to Wednesday, it just felt like bad vibes around him, and it was like I don't know why I stuck with him in a one and done because I picked him on Wednesday. In that, I kind of had a weird feeling of it going in, like doesn't feel like the last couple years, like kind of thing. So
no, I don't. Yeah, I don't know what exactly is going on there, but I'm with you that the vibes just feel off from where they were the last 2 years. Okay. Anybody else from the field you want to shout out or anything like that?
I think we pretty much hit everybody.
I think so. We got through that quicker than I thought as we sit here.
One last thing. So the low am was not in Butler Cabin for the green jacket. Kind of weird.
Who do you know who it was? I didn't pay attention.
The kid from Tennessee, I believe Harrington. Could be wrong about that.
Let me scroll the board here.
I believe he beat Mason Howell by 1.
It might be. Was it Fang?
Yeah. Oh, was it Fang?
Fang beat no, they were tied. Fang and Harrington were tied at 152 through the. None of the AMs made the cut, and then Howell was 77. He was 153, a shot back.
Yeah, I thought he was a shot behind them.
Yeah, so I did find that weird too. I don't know if they just had to move on to somewhere else, but that's
or maybe had to get back to school because these guys are, deep into probably getting close to postseason golf here for college golf. So might have been something on his end, but it felt a little weird not having the low am. Kind of feels like a once in a lifetime thing to kind of. I mean, I'm probably deciding to miss a tournament. You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
I'm going to do the Butler Cabin thing before I have to go back to school kind of thing. But I maybe it was more than that. I don't know. But I felt weird to not have him in there.
Yeah. Real quick, just to put a pin on the Rory stuff, because we kind of breezed past this, but he does have 6 majors now, the career Grand Slam. He's currently tied for 12th on the all-time major wins list with Lee Trevino, Nick Faldo, and Phil Mickelson. He is one back of a group that includes some serious heavy hitters with Harry Vardon, Bobby Jones, Gene Sarazen, Sam Snead, and Arnold Palmer. So yeah, we're getting into some lofty. There's when there's only 11 guys in front of you on the list, pretty heady territory.
Yeah.
Also makes it wild that Brooks is just one shot, like one back of that too.
Yeah.
Because they've got vastly different resumes when you look at the big picture of it all.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Okay. Auction draft results. I am fortunate I got Rory when I did because that was what the difference honestly was. I had 49 points. You had 46. Very close. I had Rory, Rose, Reed were kind of doing the heavy lifting for me. Reed was my wild card. I had Bryson, who missed the cut, so thank God. You had Scotty in second, Cam Young T3, Xander T9. You honestly had covered the board pretty well. Your worst finish was T24 from Goddard, who was your wild card, outside of Tommy, who finished T33. But overall, I mean, you covered the board pretty well. You had a couple T12s with Spieth and Brooks in there. Like I said, I had the winner, so that vaulted me up quite a bit. But that was a fun format. I think next time I'll give us less money to make it a little more interesting. But
a little tighter.
I think that might be the way to
draft
these things.
That was a good way to do it.
Yeah. All right, now we're on to the fun stuff here. Kind of like I'm going to empty the bucket on some notes, and then we can talk like broadcast and Masters broadly. Some things I wanted to shout out. There was only one man that shot under par in all 4 rounds this week. Do you know who that was?
I'm going through the leaderboard here. Give me a second.
You're good.
God, please tell me it's not Colin Morikawa.
No, that's a good guess, though. He had 3 rounds. Justin Rose had a couple of 60s.
That's going to be my next guess.
Yeah, a couple of 69s sandwiched between a couple of 70s. So, yeah, another year, 45. Like, can he come back and do it again?
Feels like time doesn't affect him like it does other people. But
I don't know. Something about this course. He's probably the best player on this course not to win. Guaranteed he's the best not to have a green jacket.
Oh, it's not. I don't even think it's close now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got 3 runners up, and now this T3, 2 playoff losses. Ooh.
Yeah, that not even close.
What else we got here to empty out? Oh, we already talked about Bryson in the bunker. If you haven't watched those, I'd just go back to the app and go look at 11 on round 1 and 18 in round 2. Some fun meltdowns to watch. The Sergio tantrum, dude.
Yeah, what was that? Like, it's not surprising because he's done this in the past.
Well, it's one thing when you do it on whatever course in Saudi Arabia, but then you do it at the second hole on Sunday at the Masters as a past champion.
Hit a cooler, break a driver. Yeah, it was not a good scene.
He tore up the tee box. They had to come out there and fix it.
Yeah.
Apparently, he got a little bit of a talking to in the trees on hole 4 after that from some green jackets. He was very chippy with the media after the fact when they were asking him about it. I would have been totally fine if they just said, "Sir, we're going to need you not to come back anymore."
I think that might be a first, as a past champion. But
I mean,
it's not a good look. I don't care what tournament; it's just not a good look.
No, definitely not. And then the last thing I had, Hao Tong Lee was an electric factory for the wrong reasons, perhaps. The guy, amazing that he was where he was, given. I guess he spent Thursday and Friday basically shitting his brains out. He had a bad stomach bug. But on Saturday, he tops one into the water on 15. Amazing moment. And then on Sunday, he makes a 10 on 13. Playing alongside Scotty.
Cannot believe that we didn't get to see even one. And we'll get to the TV stuff here in a second, but didn't even get to see one of the. Probably the one shot that I really wanted to see was his putt. That went in the water, but
yeah, that too. I forgot about that part of it all. But yeah, he's like up in the woods looking for his ball the whole time. Scotty's just like chilling in the fairway, getting iced. Like, I guess he wasn't. He was. They found it and he was in the hazard, so like it was like, "Sir, you kind of have to play this ball" situation. Like, it was tough. But yeah, go back and if you can find the footage on that in the app, I would recommend watching him on 13. That had to be very tough. But yeah, let's get into broadcast now. First thing off the rip, did it not feel like there were just more like commercials?
If I see another Maybach commercial, I might lose my mind.
Yeah. And I know what they were going for with, it must have been IBM, whoever it was that had like the kids recreating the shots of like the famous shots of at Augusta or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the idea, but I saw that truly a million times.
Oh, well, it's funny. I was watching on Hulu TV, and because it's obviously Disney owned stuff like that, they were showing like the old Sports Center commercials.
Oh God, dude, I know every commercial break.
For the first day, it was like, oh man, I missed these commercials. Like these are really good. Second day, I'm like, okay, I'm over it. Like watching Arnold Palmer making Arnold Palmer. It's like, it was funny the first day. I'm over it now. Like over it.
I feel like ESPN like really inserted themselves this year, which we can get to more of that too. But yeah, more of the broadcast stuff. Like there was a lot of bad stuff. One, they missed the Rory chip in live on 17. And then like tried to play it off like they didn't, but it was like very obvious that they did. And then yesterday was, honest to God, it might have been the worst final round broadcast that I can think of.
Yeah, it was a shit show. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
two things with Rosie. One, the tracker on 13 they had him. That ball looked like it was right of the creek, and it's like at the pin, and he's got like 12 feet for eagle. That was bad. And then also, they showed Scotty tee off on 7 before they showed the Rose approach on 7, which is like impossible chronologically. Very bad. Hideki, they kept cutting back to 18 to show guys like finish their putts out or whatever and finish the tournament. They cut to Hideki, he makes a putt, and Nance is like, "Oh, Hideki with the finishing birdie," and they like pause for a moment. And he's like, "Oh, wait a minute, I apologize. That was actually for bogey." Like. God dang, dude. And then again on 18, the Rory second shot, you had no idea where that ball was.
No idea.
it's like the pinnacle moment of the entire tournament, and we have no idea where the ball is for like a minute.
And then they missed Cam's shot because they were trying to find where Rory's ball was.
Right.
Just an utter disaster on 18.
And those are just the moments that come to mind. It was a tough day yesterday for CBS.
It was not great. I will say this too, adding on to this, the Masters app kind of lost a step this year.
100%.
Not gonna lie. Missing shots. Like, you know how you used to be able to see every shot?
Mm-hmm.
Missing shots. Missing drops. Like, you know, you're watching it, you're like, all right, you know, he's up there in 3. Oh, he made 4. And then you look, you're like, hold on, wait, he made bogey. It's like, oh, because on the app, it doesn't tell you that he had to take an unplayable. Like,
right.
It used to be one of the best apps out there. And it definitely lost a step this year.
Yeah, it was a lot of bad stuff. Like, it's so hard to track guys in there too. It's like, oh, I got to click on if you click on somebody, it automatically pops open the video, right? So one, if you're streaming anything, it cuts that off to show you the shot. And two, it's like, no, I'm just trying to figure out where on the hole he is because the video is like 2 shots behind the actual tracker.
Yep.
And then the tracker, you got to like, it doesn't take you forward naturally. You have to like zoom in to go figure it out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it was. Yeah, from what we're used to with how excellent that app was the last couple of years, it was a tough
step
game
for sure.
And that they've gotten into a lot of the kind of AI of it all too. I think it was Ryan Gerard. I forget who the No Layup guys found this, but either Gerard or Goddard, one of them. They used some like AI touch ups on the photos of the guys. One of the two of those guys in their swing was actually holding an umbrella grip, not a golf club. So I'm like, what are we doing, guys? This is the Masters, man. So yeah, it was a tough on the app, tough on the broadcast, which I think also transitions to the next thing where I just had a question in our agenda. Has the Masters jumped the shark?
Oh yeah. This is not. I'd be okay if they did stuff like this for the US Open, right? Have at it. Like, you want Jason Kelsey out there, whatever. I don't care. In the booth, fine. Not at the Masters.
No.
Not out there in a caddy bib. No. Just a flat no for me.
It, like, the par 3 contest used to, not that it like meant something really, but like I would be excited to go turn it on and watch it, right?
Yeah.
And it's great. You get all the kids out there, and that's what it should be. Like, have the kids hit some shots, whatever. But it's like almost all the guys don't even actually play the full 9 holes because of that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're not recording scores at all. You got Kelsey out there. He doesn't have the mic like holding up to his mouth when he's talking half the time. You got fucking Bryson out there. Hasn't even won the damn tournament. He's got Kevin Hart caddying for him. Like, creates his own little sideshow. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, they made those guys overshadow the par 3 contest, and it just is not what it's meant to be.
No, it's just like what, you know, the Masters is like, what makes it so good and so unique is that they like don't do these things, right? Like they're the ones that are like,
exactly
no,
right.
This is the Masters. Like we do stuff a certain way. It's kind of like a snapshot in time. It's a throwback in a lot of ways.
Yep.
And it's like they just completely 180'd and just leaned into like, we're going to go viral kind of thing.
Yep.
That's so bad. And then you throw that in with, you know, the egg salad hats, the now driving hats.
Oh my gosh. And by the way, that guy that was on 16 was there every day.
I know.
Every day with a different hat on, those shitty sunglasses that looked awful. Like I said this, I said, you know, if you're on Instagram enough, you've probably seen the PE guy, and he makes fun of people that are in private equity. That guy was like who I imagine he's making fun of.
100%. I think I text you guys. I was like, he's clearly a Trump plant to distract us from the war and Epstein.
Yeah, just so everybody's talking about this absolute monstrosity of a guy sitting behind 16 tee box.
Yeah, it's so bad. And then, you know, you've been on this block for quite a while. I think you might be one of the earliest people on the block, but the merch hall stuff has got to go.
Yeah, I think I sent you guys one that was the most egregious one for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they just had a 20-foot table long filled with stuff, right?
Ugh.
And like they got like a dog bowl. Like I said, we should shoot them in the space like we did the Artemis 2. But instead of bringing them back 10 days later, we should just leave them out there. Like just let them orbit the moon for like forever.
Yeah, they can be out there with their egg salad hats and their gnomes and all that.
Because I'll tell you what, there's never, can safely say this, that I've never gone to a golf tournament, like a professional golf tournament. And I like to buy shirts and stuff like that and hats and stuff. There's never been a moment where I've gone to a golf tournament and gone, you know what my dog needs? A new fucking bowl. Like, never done that in my entire life. Ever. No.
And it becomes like, you know, they're getting into like the swags. It just feels like cheap corporate swag, not primo Augusta National Masters stuff.
It's the foreplayization of golf. It's look, I at this point, I've always kind of fought the, like, I'm definitely not an elitist, like, at all. I'm not. But it reaches a point where I'm like, you know, like, it's like our political landscape in America, right? Like, everything's moved so far left and right. Like, the people in the center now look like they're on a different side than they were before.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, I'm not an elitist. And the bar just keeps moving this way where I'm like, maybe I am. Like, I don't think I am, but maybe I am.
Justin's out here pulling ladders up.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like I have not moved in my beliefs, but somehow, like, I'm now an elitist. But like 5 years ago, I was not. You know what I mean?
I know it's truly tough. Like, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to be there twice, and look, I did spend several $100s of my own money there on stuff, but I bought pullovers, you know, a tasteful hat, a flag so that I had like a memory of it, right? Like a poster of Amen Corner, like things like that. I'm not out there buying thousands of dollars of stuff to lay on a table for a social post to be like showing it off or whatever. And then possibly people selling, you know, reselling.
Oh, they're 100% reselling, especially the gnomes. Like some of these gnomes are going for $600 or $700 on eBay.
Wild.
And I don't know how much the retail price is. I would go to believe that they're probably about $100, you know.
Yeah, I think I heard reports of like $60 to $70.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're selling them for $600 is a monstrosity to capital. Like, that is not capitalism. That's just you being a total dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And by the way, for everybody out there, this is the easiest way to get these people to stop doing it. No, don't buy it. Like, people are buying this stuff because clearly people are buying it offline. Stop buying it.
Yeah.
No stolen valor. Like, you know, I have a hat from Augusta. I've never been there. I actually got it back. Like, someone brought me a hat unsolicited. Like, hey, I feel like you would have liked this, and like gave it to me. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. Appreciate it. No stolen valor. Like, I'm truly like, the first time I go is when I will have a Masters shirt. Right. Like, I'm not going to ask someone to buy me something. I'm not going to buy something off eBay. Like, I refuse to do it. But that's how we get these people to stop, because, you know, if they clearly buy them because people are buying them, right? Like, they're reselling this stuff because people are buying it. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Like,
I always thought Augusta would be the one place to be like, to have some respect for this stuff. But at the end of the day, I think everyone falls victim to the up and to the right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all money. It's all money. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I just, shout out to, there's a burner account on Twitter. You know, I love Twitter that literally calls these people out. And I am, you know, at first I'm like, this feels slimy, like calling people out, trying to sell stuff on like Facebook Market. I'm all in.
Yeah.
If this guy needs backers, like, I will fund his, like, we can need to make this guy this needs to be his full-time job. Like, we got to find a way where we can all rally around this guy and give him a base salary to just do this full-time. Because there's so many people out there that just need to be called out.
Yeah, it's like the Dark Knight, you know, maybe he's the hero we deserve, just not the one we need right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Man. Yeah, that's a situation to monitor for sure. This is the first year where I felt that, where it was like Augusta's like, and the Masters is like broken contain a little bit. It's, and I just don't like it. It feels a little old man yelling at clouds, or like I said, I think last week, where it's like someone discovers the band that you were like in on, but now they're super cool or whatever and trendy. I just don't like it.
Too many social media.
That's what it
personalities that get tickets, and I don't think they're getting them through the drawing. I mean, they're getting them from corporate sponsors and stuff like that, and that's fair game, whatever. But that's probably what's putting an amplifier to it, right? Like someone with 500,000 followers spends $8,000 in the Augusta shop, right? Like that's what. But it just, it's truly unbecoming behavior.
The day they take away the cell phone policy is the day we show up with pitchforks.
Oh, I will try. I will be the first one with toilet paper on Magnolia Boulevard. Like I will toilet paper the shit out of those trees if they get rid of the cell phone rule.
We riot at that point. That's when we know it's gone. We've lost it at that point.
Like it's gonna make that Reagan guy that tried to assassinate him at Augusta look like a tea party. Like I promise you that.
Oh man. All right, 2026 Masters in the books. We got 363 days or however many days it is till the next one. But a summer full of golf ahead of us, which is great. Pivoting over to some fan mail, we got a couple good ones this week. Some real golf talk here, which is great to have. First one up, our boy John Hudson, shout out. Thank you for listening always and sending in this fan mail. He said it's a hot take, but I think the reason why people want Tiger back in golf so bad is because without Tiger or Bryson, golf is emotionless until the final hole. Tiger was exciting to watch because not only was he good, but he was entertaining. Bring back the fist pumps, getting the crowd going after chip in or long putts roll in. Scotty's a great golfer, but he's boring. Very few PGA Tour players show emotion during each round. Thoughts?
I agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, these guys are robotic now. They definitely are robotic.
Too corporate.
It's
all image stuff,
Yeah, it is. I don't hate that take. I would say I probably fall into that. We don't have enough guys that show emotion, reaction, kind of like, these guys now, it's hard to see like what's going on through like in their head because they're just robots out there, right?
Yeah. It's like the optimization of golf, right? Like where it's like, and this gets into our next question from Hinkle we'll get to in a second, but like the technology is such and the game is like TrackMan and numbers and all this where it's like, everybody's just trying to hit fairways and greens, hit as far as they can. Like everything's just so over optimized that I think the players themselves have become that way, right? Like the equipment just doesn't. That's why I'm so drawn to guys like Spieth and Rory, where it's like they actually make me feel something when I watch them play. That whether that's a good thing or bad thing, they're in the trees and they're losing golf tournaments and whatever else. But to me, those guys like that are golfers, And Scotty, I put Scotty in that bucket too. He just like, I don't want to be this guy too, but like some of the like religion stuff, is kind of like, for me and things like that. And so that makes him a little bit tougher. He's just too normal. But yeah,
I think my stuff with Scotty is just so much of like, it's exciting the way he hits the ball, right? Like the footwork, like that stuff's really exciting. It's almost like he's bought into like, I'm a 30-year-old dad now. Like I can't be acting that way. Kind of, you know what I mean? Like, is that, I know he's never said that, right? But doesn't it feel that way? Like I'm a dad. Like I got to show a better example of like how to carry yourself kind of thing. Like he's never said that, but it's kind of how it comes off a little bit. I don't know.
The other part of it too is he's always been kind of like aw shucks guy, but like he's kind of one of these guys too, where the optimization stuff, where when things start going the wrong way, he gets a little bitchy, like he's a little whiny and stuff. And he expects to get every break and to hit every shot the way he wants to. And part of that's because he's so good, obviously. But yeah, for me, I think that's what it is. But when you watch him, like he's wildly entertaining to watch. He's like truly gifted, and he swings his own swing, and he's he looks different versus, I don't know, you put guys like I think of Xander. Xander's like my ballpark example for this, where it's like I feel nothing when I watch Xander play.
Yeah, nothing.
And when he's playing good, it's just like bomb it down the middle of the thing, hit it up on the green, and 2-putt for par. Like it's just that optimization factor in golf that I think has really taken away a lot of the
I do think we have to give some credit to guys like, I think Shane Lowry is, while he doesn't make me feel anything personally, he shows emotion, right? Like, sometimes it's a little bitchy. He's got that like European bitchiness to him a little bit, but like, the hole in one, like, he went nuts. I love that. I was like, but he gets mad. Like I'm okay with people getting mad and like showing emotion, like not Sergio's emotion, but like, that's why I kind of like Shane Lowry. I think he's kind of one of the few that kind of, you can tell the emotion he's feeling and thinking by the way he's acting. And we just don't have a lot of guys that, do that anymore. Hell, we just, 3 weeks ago, we had Ludwig literally just crapping down his pants, and it looked like the dude was still winning the tournament. You know what I mean? Like, you had no idea by the look on his face what he was like feeling and thinking and stuff like that. So yeah, it has definitely become a little more robotic. There's definitely some room in the game for your Brysons, and definitely missing Tiger for that fact. Yeah.
All right, next question from Hinkle. Again, thank you for listening. I know he'll be listening to this wherever he's driving to for work tomorrow. He says, listening to Masters on the radio, and the question for Tom, Jack, and Gary was on golf ball rollback. Gary said it should be rolled back 60 yards due to land, fertilizer, water, and basically wasting money. Obviously, that's not going to happen, but curious what you think would be a good number if you had to control it. I am big time in favor of some kind of rollback. I don't know if it's the ball or the drivers or whatever. Kind of, in Augusta, Fred Ridley came out and said as much this week. He was like, we have to do something. Like, there's just like nowhere for us to really go at this point.
No, it's a land thing, right? Like, I always bring up our golf course in particular, right? The one we play every day. There's just nowhere else to go. Like, there's a few tee boxes we could kind of like be creative with, right? Like, and maybe build a couple more tee boxes, but we can't make our land bigger. There's houses being built around us. Like, and we're not the only golf course that's that way, right? Like, I think one that comes to mind that's pretty similar to our course, but it's a tour course, is like the Rocket Open, right? Or there's that course is landlocked, right? Like, there's nowhere to add tee boxes, right? So that course is never going to be longer than it is right this moment, without literally trying to change the geographical layout of multiple city blocks. Like, there's just nowhere to do it. And there's so many courses like that. Augusta's probably a little spoiled in the fact that they probably could buy some more land and make it happen, but that's not a sustainable way to continue, right?
No. And it's, you think about like number one, even like Cam Young and Rory, like those guys, they can almost carry the bunker on one with 3-wood at this point. And that's like a 450-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's insane.
So like for them, that's a 3-wood and a short iron or a wedge. A driver is a chippy wedge kind of thing. Like it's that coupled with the fact of what I said earlier with the optimization stuff, where like drivers just don't miss. Like it has become the easiest club to hit in the bag for a lot, especially for tour pros. Like, so
I tell you what, I stand by this. Like, if you're against golf ball rollback, fine, right? But let's look at other sports that have separating. They kind of separate them. Professional sports separates the equipment from what normal people use. Baseball is a perfect example, right? Mm-hmm. There's a reason that we don't have Major League Baseball using metal bats.
Right.
But our, from 6 years old up to college, amateur sports, they use metal bats. There's a reason why the major leagues don't use metal bats, right? It'd be, games would be 13-12 and, guys would hit 80 home runs and, it just would, just doesn't make any sense, right? It's not a sustainable way to play the game. So, to me, it's like, am I going to ask him to go back to persimmons? No, but there might be something of like they go back to, modern built wood clubs, right? Like those just don't go as far. There might be something along those lines that still rewards the ball strikers because but it makes it a little more sustainable where guys are not carrying drives 390 yards,
Yeah.
carrying a 310 bunker with a 3-wood.
Right. Yeah, 100% agree. And the other example, too, I mean, with baseball, like they control the baseball too. They change the baseball in season sometimes.
Dude, I said this the other day. A couple weeks ago, I was at opening day, and the way the ball was kind of coming off, I was like, dude, these balls are juiced. Like it was like they were definitely juiced. But it's funny is like over the last couple weeks, and I have no proof to back this up, but it's like there's been some pitching duels, and like you're like, oh, maybe they rolled it. Maybe they realized like some of these initial balls were like a little, juicy, that they might have rolled some of them back a little bit. But yeah, that every sport has it, right? It's just golf is the only one where people are like, nope, let's just continue on with like making the game as easy as possible for everybody. And it's like the professionals don't need to make it easier. Like they're professionals for a reason. But like you also don't want to take away from amateur golf, right? Like make kids be discouraged with how hard it is. It's already a super hard game. It's just something has to happen with professional golf. Has to.
Yeah, and I think of like tennis. I'm pretty sure like the tournaments kind of control like what balls you use sometimes too, and things like 100%. That. So like I could see a world where like Augusta's like, here's your Masters golf balls for the week, and this is what they are. Like that would be sick too.
That would be kind of sick.
Yeah. All right, great questions. I
do have one. It's not so much a question, but shout out to Michael Roth. He's my old neighbor.
Oh yeah.
He was down at Augusta with his son, who's a club professional, I believe out in California. Shout out to his son for buying golf carts from EasyGo this year. They got Masters tickets on Wednesday. He took a picture with our hat hanging out in the EasyGo tent. Sent me a message saying back 9 6-packs were represented at Augusta. Come to find out, I was messaging them. They scored tickets for Thursday through Coca-Cola. So they went on Thursday too. He just posted his pictures today. He's a phenomenal photographer. I think it's just like a hobby.
Yeah.
But he had some really, really cool pictures. I need to message him and let him know, like, dude, you got to send some of these to the families. Like, had a really cool picture of like the Rom family, like kids running around on the par 3 contest. He had some really cool family pictures. I'm like, I need to let him know, like, dude, you got to just like message these to these people and just like, hey, thought you would love this, and like send it to them. Like, you're going to get a response. Like, at least a thank you. Right. But he posted some really cool pictures. He did say, he was like, I was trying to stay, he said he's like blew the budget in the shop, but he only spent like $420.
Yeah.
Said his son spent about $800, which I think is like reasonable, right? Because when you start thinking a golf shirt's $100, like you're really probably only walking out of there with like 6 or 7 items at $800, Right. So depending on how many small things you buy. So thought that was cool to hear from him. Shout out to him for wearing our hat on Wednesday.
Yeah, super cool. That was you sent that picture to me. I was like, dude, post that immediately. Yeah. Like that was sick. Yeah, it was really cool. Shout out to Michael. And with that, we've got great patio weather. I thought about for a minute setting it up on the patio tonight and just recording outside.
My mind too. Yeah.
Oh, really good patio weather, and we're gonna head to the patio now for a Patio Beers segment. I'm gonna go ahead and go first. Kind of a light one to end things on here. I don't know if you saw this. You're way more on X than I am. But there was something making the rounds from a former soccer player. Kind of one of these like challenge type questions. And he goes, would you take $100K right now? Or would you take $5 million, but you have to eat 10 Oreo packs? There are 36 Oreos in a pack within 24 hours to get the $5 million. If you fail, you walk away with nothing. So
I'm doing the Oreos.
I think I could do 360 Oreos. It would probably the second, third
feel
pack.
Awful.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think, man, that's a lot of cookies, though. Dude, that's so many
360
cookies.
Oreos. I mean, if they're regular ones, double stuff would be a game ender. Like you'd be
Yeah,
cooked.
no, that's too much sugar. Like
Yeah.
added sugar. Like the cream has the most sugar. Like that's where all the sugar's at, pretty much. The double stuff would end you. But if it was like regular Oreos and I had 24 hours to eat them,
Yeah.
man, I feel like I'd find a way to just really gut through that.
I think so too.
I would take the chance. I would take the chance.
Yeah. I think if
You
it was
said
like
100K right now or 10 million if you do that.
5 million.
5 million. Still,
Yeah, I think it's worth a gamble. Yeah.
it's worth the gamble. I mean, 5 million's life changing money. 100K is like, that's awesome and that's a lot of money, but it's not like, oh, like I can retire tomorrow with 100K. That's not 5 million. You might be able to find a way to retire on 5 million.
I think so too. Yeah. What would your basic strategy be? What do you think you'd do?
So it's 360 cookies over 24 hours.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I didn't do the math on that. I'm curious how many per hour and stuff like that.
So it's 15 an hour. So it's essentially how many did you say was in a pack?
36 in a pack.
So it's about a half a pack an hour. To me, I would start out the gate hot. Like
I think so too.
I'm trying to get half of these down in the first 4 hours. Like
Yeah.
and then I'm probably gonna go and like not work out, but I'm like gonna go like walk, right?
Yeah.
Let's walk it off for like the next hour. Take like an hour, maybe an hour and a half break, and then come back and then try to do like another huge push to get like at least to like 250, 260. So now I've got like 12 hours to do 100.
Yep.
110 cookies, which feels way more doable than like the initial push, like 360 in 24 hours. I think there's going to be a lot of like hour break walks. As crazy as this sounds, you're probably going to have to mix in some caffeine in there because the sugar crash is going to be, especially if you go walk, is going to be like so gigantic.
Yeah.
But I think if I could get to like 100, needing 100 with like 12 hours left, I think that's varied. Now you're starting to talk like the math really checks out on it, right? Like,
yeah, I think it feels
100. So I got to do 8 cookies an hour for the next 12 hours. That is like, it feels so much more doable than 15 in an hour.
Yeah, and so I just was looking at kind of like the calorie situation here. Approximately, so they're actually pretty like per cookie, it's only like 50 calories, so not horrible. You're looking at like 1,500, 1,800 calories a pack. So basically 1,800 calories a pack if there's 36 in there. So yeah, you're looking at a solid, what is that?
How many calories did you say per pack?
About 1,800. So you're looking at like almost 10K calories in a day. It's a lot. But I think your strategy is right. I think you just you power through as many as possible, like at least half of what you got to do.
Like before lunchtime, like where can I get by 12 o'clock, right? Like,
yes. And then you take that like walk, or I think you could play golf and you just munch on them while you're golfing too.
Yeah.
Like something to like keep your mind off of the fact you're eating this many.
Like set a goal, like, okay, like you think it takes you, let's say it takes you an hour to play 4 holes, right? Like maybe 4.5 holes. It's like, all right, in these next 4.5 holes, just got to like snack on some cookies, like 15 cookies, like, and try to keep that pace after your initial push.
Yeah.
And like, it probably doesn't even seem like you're eating that much, right?
Right. Yeah, I think I'm with you. I'm trying to get through like 3 packs right off the rip.
Yeah.
And then you're walking. Maybe I think I could eat 2 packs of Oreos in a round of golf.
I think so. I think I could probably do. Yeah. Or break it up that way, right? Like, all right, I'm going to do 1 pack on the front. I think if you add another measuring stick, you can kind of like, oh, I got to pick up the pace, or, oh, I'm on good pace, something that kind of keeps your pace, but you're also doing an activity to kind of take your mind off of it. That's probably the way to go.
Yeah, you gotta be doing something else to like not think about the fact you're eating.
Yeah,
all
you
these
can't
cookies.
just sit there and just eat cookies all day, because like you're gonna get to the point where you're just done, right?
Yeah.
And you're bored, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the chance, though.
I think so too.
No, that was a good question. I had not seen that actually, surprisingly.
That was all over my social feed, so maybe I'm just in like the fatter part of the internet. I don't know, but
No, you're about to find out where my internet's at right now with my question.
All right.
So I fell into this. I don't know how. Maybe like I watched one video and like kind of watched it for a little bit, and then like it just kind of started piling on from there. I am like so deep into like the trading card algorithm of Instagram. Like sports trading cards, like football, basketball, baseball cards.
Yep.
I've been pretty deep into it now for about 2 weeks. Okay. Kind of just seeing, it's interesting. Like you got box openings and guys ripping open packages. Kind of takes you back to like your childhood days. So I'm like, I would tell you, I probably have 40,000 cards. No joke. Like,
jeez.
I mean, I've got binders and binders of baseball, basketball, football cards, boxes of football, baseball cards. Like, so I decided yesterday that I'm going to start cataloging all these. There's actually an app. You can scan them in. I'm not cataloging every card, kind of finding the names I know, and you can scan them in. It tells you vaguely what they're worth, kind of thing. And before I get to my question, I do want to say that here's the initial push on cards, like the most interesting cards, right? Because it really does. Like I feel like I'm a 12-year-old again. Like when I'm starting to do it, I'm kind of like ripping through these cards. Best football card, and I'm not even sure it's close. This was actually the last card I cataloged before I stopped today. It was a 1995 Brett Favre Topps card. So like right when he kind of shortly after he kind of became a star. Best baseball card. Probably. So I have a Mike Piazza checklist card. It's kind of a cool design. It's kind of like a drawing.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty sick. I'm a big Mike Piazza guy. I don't think we've ever talked about this on here. I respect catchers. They're like the centers. Football, like the centers, like the kind of like the meat of the football team. Like that's what catchers are.
Right.
I also I have a John Elway from 1994 in here. I thought that was pretty cool. And then best baseball card, Bronson Arroyo, 1995 draft pick card.
Damn.
Not worth much money, but like for Cincinnati Reds fan, it's like, didn't know he was drafted by the Pirates. Had no idea. So kind of cool. But so that brings me to my question. I've clearly unwrapped a hobby that I used to have that I kind of haven't done in, I don't know, probably 25 years. Is there a hobby that you like have thought that you used to do that you're like, can you still hear me? I cut out.
Yeah, I got you. You cut out. I don't know what happened, but you're good.
So what I was saying is like, my question is, have you thought about picking up a hobby that you maybe haven't done in a while? Or do you even have a hobby like that, right?
That's such a good question. Yeah, I didn't. So like, I didn't have the binders of baseball cards and stuff as a kid. When I got cards, it would be like, you go to the Reds game and they give you a pack of what,
I have thousands of those.
Yeah.
I know that feeling. Oh yeah.
So yeah, but my dad had a ton of baseball. I'd have to go through some of his stuff. I'm sure he's got, same as you just boxes and all kinds of just cards and maybe some good ones, who knows. But yeah, I didn't get into the baseball card or the football card stuff. Card wise, I was kind of a nerd. I was more of like the Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh card kind of guy.
Dude, I was not biased in the cards that I collected. I have Pokemon cards as well.
Yeah. So along those lines, I didn't really have that kind of thing. I'm trying to think, like, yeah, I mean, we talked about this a lot on the pod. I used to read a lot as a kid, and every year as like an adult, I've always set that goal of like, I'm going to read books, and I just never get around to it. I think that would be the one if I had to pick one. I mean, writing was a thing for me too, where like I was just always kind of good at it, and that's a goal I set for this year. Right, was like to write a couple different things outside of just work. So I don't have a cool one or like a like a true like I was a kid. I think one thing that I've kind of wanted to do is just like go back and play. I play a lot of like N64 with Zach, with my oldest son. We still have the system. So like tonight before we hopped on here, I was playing Mario Kart with him earlier.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go back and play like some of the old like NCAA football games and like Madden and stuff.
Those are always fun. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just like dabble back in like some 2012 football instead of, I don't have any current gaming system, so I've kind of gotten out of that. But that probably would be the one where it's like I want to, just for the nostalgia of it, just dive back into some old games.
Well, I think that's what it's all about, right? Like you get to our age and like you just kind of want to feel like a kid every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's so funny. Like I'm going through these cards today and I'm just like ripping off names, right? Like, and I'm saying them like an announcer's voice. And like my wife looks at me, she's like, "What are you saying?" I'm like, I'm reading it, and it just takes me back because like these are all the guys like when I was into this, like the whole, especially baseball cards. I was lucky enough to have an uncle that was way into collecting specifically baseball cards. And he kind of always, like, for my birthday would get me, like, I'm talking like binders, right? Like he would kind of go through his collection, like throw some decent ones in there, but like kind of give me cards. But it's like, it's like going through and it's like, oh, Edgar Renteria, like, it's like, oh, look, Roger Clemens when he was with the Red Sox. Like, it just kind of brings back to like these guys that I'm like, as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 10-year-old, that it was like, like I really, really looked up to. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's cool to like kind of take a step back and feel like a kid again every once in a while. So
yeah, 100%. I mean, there's truly like psychology behind nostalgia that like just puts you in a different frame of mind. And I don't think sometimes it gets a bad rap of like whatever, people living in the past or having like childish like interests or whatever. But like you think back on it and it's like there's memories attached to that stuff, like you just said, like your uncle, and there's that part of it too where it's like beyond just like the fact of the cards. It's like truly like core memories of your childhood.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Like my wife's like, I'm scanning a couple of these in. I've got a couple cards that are worth $60, $70, $80. Like they're decent cards. And she's like, well, just hold on to them. I'm like, oh, I'm not selling these. Like, I'm not selling these things. Like no. I'm doing this as like hey, I now have the technology to like catalog my cards, like
right.
Digitally. Right. Like, so I'm going to do it. And I think it's like a cool, like little experiment that I'm kind of doing. I'm like, I'm not selling these cards. You like, my uncle didn't sell them. Like, why am I selling them? Right. And so like, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I could go tomorrow and start doing it again tomorrow and run into a $10,000 card and probably wouldn't sell it. Like, honestly, if I told my uncle, like, hey, you gave me a $10,000 card, he'd probably like, all right, we're going to sell it and split it. Like,
yeah.
All those cards I gave you, like, this is kind of paying me back. But no, I have no interest. Like, it's cool to like find out what they're worth. And some of these are worthless, right? And some of them have some worth. But I'm not like, oh, like I'm here to like find out what I have and like make some money out of it, right? Like,
right.
It got me into like looking on Facebook Marketplace for like just lots of cards, like where I can go buy them and just kind of rip through them and see what's in there. But it's so funny. You'll read these like descriptions, like, I know what I got. And it's like, then why are you selling them? Like, this is stupid. Like, just keep them, pass them down to your kids. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. I actually came up with I think I've got an answer for you now sitting here, but like my dad was always into, like model cars and model rockets and stuff like that. And he got me into that when I was younger. And I can remember plenty of days like spent like, painting like a model Chevy from the 60s or whatever, and like building it and doing all that stuff. And I think it's something I want to get our boys into, of just like, so much today is like you said, kind of, it's like digital or online, or like you don't have it like in your hands. It's like everything's fast paced. Like it's a good thing to like have stuff like that like slows you down a little bit too, and like makes you focus, and just like kind of like it's almost like therapy in a way of like doing something with your hands and all that stuff. So that might be something I try to do, just to kind of like a throwback to my dad, is like let's buy some model cars and just build these cars together, you know?
Yeah, well, and it's like you actually bring up a good point. And I'll tell you, like, now that I'm into like the whole Instagram thing, like trading cards and like going to card shows is like it's back. Like, and it's become. I'm starting to find out like super super popular again, like kind of mid '90s popular, like at its peak. I think what it is like there's not a lot of physical currencies anymore, and what I mean, like not currency in the fact of like money, but like physical items that people have interest in, right? It's like, oh, I have interest in video games. Like, okay, yeah, it's like it's not physical, right? Like I'm really good at this video game, or I'm really good at whatever it might be. There's nothing physical anymore. So like, I think people get into the fact that it's like I can hold this thing in my hands, right? That is kind of part of history or whatever it is. Like you can actually physically hold it. There's just not a lot of things like that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you got with the models, right? It's like it's something physical that you're like you're not building on a computer, right? It's like in front of you.
Yeah, even like if you take the video game stuff, like all that, you download everything now, right? Like it's not, you don't get
get a
the
box
game
with a CD in it.
Yeah, like I remember, part of the whole thing was like you'd open up a game and like you'd flip through the, the manual or whatever with it, and you'd read about all this stuff. Like, you don't even have like that. It's like that experience, just missing that tangible element to it.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one. I always throw it back. Let's go analog. Let's get off out of the digital space here.
Oh,
all right. Good way to end the Masters recap episode for sure. Hopefully you guys heard Justin there. I think your mic died or something, so you've got.
I think it did. It definitely did, actually.
Yeah, you're on the computer audio, so I think
hopefully
I can
not
still
too
hear
messed
you.
up.
Nah, you're good. But thank you all for listening. Great Masters week. Great champion. But as always, please subscribe, rate, and review the show. Follow us on social media at Back96Pack. We'll see you back next week. Until next time, cheers.
See ya. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Back 9 Six Pack. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Back 9 Six Pack for all your content needs. We'll see you guys next week. Cheers.